Hey guys, welcome to the Eagle Farm preview, and I've got our regular guests and masters of both the mounting yard mail and corporate bookmaking, filthy corporate bookmaker, Trent Green from Combet, and magnificent mounting yard mailman from Brisbane for RacingRant members, legend of the game, Nick Meredith.
Gee, that was a better intro than Trent's.
Yeah, well, we've got scum and we've got class, that's what it's all about.
I bet 6 days a week, Gordon, and 1 day a week I'm a filthy bookie. So
yeah.
That's a bit different.
Well, that's a decent ratio. Then I'll have to up my opinion of you. Okay. And guys, Nick, last week, sensational, mate. Yeah, and
it was good. Bit still dirty on myself in the last with Canadian Dancer. I was keen on Kinlock. Canadian Dancer I didn't see. He can play up a bit, so they just shot him straight out and I missed him. And I should have, in hindsight, I should have put that info out saying, guys, didn't see him. He was pretty well talked about in the preview. And when something like that happens, London to a brick on, you're going to get beat by a nose by him. So if you got that last one, that would have made it a really good day. But it's still a nice day.
Yeah. No, I tell you what, it was a comfy little last race for me because I'd backed two horses, which was Canadian Dancer and Kinlock. So
yeah, you were sweet all the way up the straight then, weren't you?
But that photo went the better way for me anyway. And Trent, how did you go bookmaking last week? On just on Brisbane, mate. How did that go?
Yeah, we were in front on Brisbane. Oh no, I think we might have lost. I forget. There's been a lot of meetings in between there. Good.
Yeah.
I think we lost on Brisbane, but won the other two meetings.
Okay, sweet. Oh, well, let's get stuck into it. We're on, what is the rail position? Plus something the whole way. Plus 5 meters the whole way at Eagle Farm. Nick, what are you saying?
Oh, same as we do every week with Eagle Farm at the moment. Track, pace bias, those sort of things just in running. I don't think there'll be any problem there. I think it's a good 4 at the moment. We've had a bit of rain around, just some light showers, but that's clearing up. I don't think it's going to make much difference at all. So I'm thinking a good winter 4 and pretty fair tempo related.
Beauty. And Trent, do you have an opinion?
Yeah, no dramas, just track fair until we see otherwise.
No wonder you guys love it, because you love it because of the way you do the form, Trent, which is brilliant. Exactly right. And you love it, Nick, because you find the best looking ones from the yard, then it works for you as well. I think everyone track fair is the best for everyone, isn't it? They've all got a chance, and let's get into it. Well, sometimes for me that's not necessarily the case, actually. But I mean, the odd one out there, if I spot bias that the market hasn't gotten onto, I appreciate that. So,
well, if you want to see a good bias track, have a look at Doomben on last Wednesday.
I know. It was disappointing. Well, disappointing for fair racing, shall we say?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, race 1 over 1,000 meters, and because I heard you talking about it already, Trent, I might as well go to you first.
Very keen here, Gord. Number 8, Rainbow Connection. So when a horse has won first up previously, which this horse has done twice, I'm always going to be with it. What I tend to do is look at their top ratings and give them their best rating in the whole prep, if it's won that first up. So it won the benchmark 78, which I'd have superior to this class 3 today. So it won that. It's had some better races, running a listed race where it was slowly away. 7-1 behind you call Edit. So this horse, if it comes back, should win this race. Problem is, the concern is the 231 days, but trainer seems to be firing at the moment, so I'm not as concerned. But whenever they take a little bit more than probably the 150, 160 days, alarm bells start ringing. They've obviously had some kind of issue, or there's some reason why they're not having that short break. But if it comes back anywhere near the horse it was, I think it wins this. I've got $1.80. It's currently $2.80. I did take better, but there was a scratching of the hard to say. But very keen. Number 8, Rainbow Connection.
Beautiful. And Nick?
Yeah, I'm much the same as Trent. I thought the trials were great. last trial is really interesting one. Try and find a horse that they've tried to hide over the last 100
Oh,
meters.
Jesus, mate. Hilarious, wasn't it? How did that, it went from like, if it just let it go, it would win the trial to getting beaten by 3 lengths. It was sensational.
It was a really not subtle effort at trying to set the thing up. So, look, I'd imagine this horse will parade pretty big and robust in condition. That's what Matty Duns do. So you've got to be aware of how the stable presents them. It's only 1,000 meters. Look, based off the trials, I've got to have him on top clearly. Devastating's going all right. He's probably the danger, but away from that, not really. I think they're the two, but you know, if he parades like a skunk, no, but I'm pretty confident with Trent there. He's right.
So just for a bit of information there, Nico, because it's an interesting one, and that is if you're resuming over 1,000 meters, particularly when you've gone off on a 1,400 meter runs, you don't want them completely screwed down, do you?
Oh, no,
you just
not
want
at
them
all.
to look healthy. Is that the
that's the you certainly don't want them screwed down, because if they're screwed down after this bigger break, you're going to get 1 or 2 runs at them, then you're going to have to turn them out again. So, you know, as we've said in the past, 1,000 meters are different races too. They're a race of their own. And I don't think it'll be a problem. Matty Dunn's always got really good condition on his horses. So, yeah, I'm with Trent here, pretty confident on the 8.
If it's back with those question marks that Trent mentioned, then this is all over. This will just win. It's far too good for them. I think you'll find, Nick, because the GP's mentioned to me from the yard that this is a really nice horse as well.
Okay.
And it's kind of not done as much as we expected it to do. So I thought, you know, this longish break, and look, 3 trials, and all the trials are over 1,000 meters. That shows intent to me to get it ready first up. And as you mentioned, the trials have been sensational, and the second to Vernelli in a Saturday Metropolitan race in Sydney. I mean, this is just too good for him, this horse, and if it's with us, it wins. And I'd be leaning towards the pricing of Sooty. Sorry, Sooty, I've got to call you Trent on this show. Fucking hell, it gets so confusing.
I don't mind either one.
Well, I think there's still 270 around at the moment, 260, 270, which it looks all right to me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's move on to race 2 over the 2,200 meters. And Nick, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, when I first did this race, it was pre-scratchings, and Kirkby was still in the race. And I thought, gee, it looks a nice race for him off his last run in Sydney. But he's come out, and I don't really know what to make of it since he's come out. The Toppy, I've had a bit of luck on in the past, but I just don't think he's going any good. The favourites, Mars thing, which is always an instant tick for me once they're over any distance. But, I mean, it was a first up run from overseas in Sydney, but it was nothing that could get you too excited, I don't think. I think it was okay. And then the 2 Waller runners, Otira, which was pretty well backed here last time, a couple of weeks ago, and ran along okay. And Shameless Miss, who ran reasonably well in the Grafton Cup, which wasn't a bad run. But I'll be keen on the parade here, but I haven't got a lot of confidence early on, I've got to say.
And what have you done, Trent?
Oh, what a hateful race. I said to myself, don't bet in this race, don't bet in this race. And then I'm a sicko. I start betting in this race.
What have you done? What have you done, you madman?
I've got number 5, Shameless Miss, on top. I've got it $2.80. I took $3.90. It held up near the 600 in the Grafton Cup, crowded near the 300. That race is superior to this. Before that was in a benchmark 90, similar grade to this, but down in Sydney. So obviously superior to the Brisbane form, behind Outlandos. So again, that's good enough for here. Ran in a couple of listed races before that. So whilst it hasn't won for a little while, which these stayers can tend to do, I think it's the better class horse and probably the best horse in this race. And I think it can win. The other one I may have something on is Bartholomew Dias, but not as keen as this Shameless Miss. I think Shameless Miss is the one. It's going to get, it's only a small field, so they're all going to get reasonably good runs, but I think it just gets the suck run, and I think we'll go very close to winning.
Beauty, I'll leave that one to you two. Let's move on to race 3 over 1,200 meters, and definitely go to you first here, Nick. I was really interested in how you handled this race.
Yeah, it's going good. I'm a little unsure. I got to be honest with you there. I mean, I saw the price come up, Tango Fever, and obviously, it was a good result for everyone first up. Did get the blows, but still won. But yeah, I'm not convinced. I got to say, Sexton wasn't great. I can't come into him at all at the price. I thought the toppy, it's Rockhampton Mackay form, but there's a bit of that around at the moment because they've just had their carnival. And I quite like the way it sprinted when it got the space. And the one that's one off its only start, the number 6, Allow Me. I really like the way it attacked the line at the sunny coast. It was a bit green. It wanted to sort of hang all the way down the straight, but for a first starter, I thought it showed a really good turn of foot. Now, we're not really going to know we might have some idea if there's any bias by them, but I'm thinking if they can run on, I'm happier to play Allow Me around the $7.58 mark than Tango Fever. You know, it's getting close to even money now. The last time I looked, so
yeah, so it's like a price orientated opinion there.
Yeah, I think Tango Fever's unders on its win. It looked to me like it loomed up to win by more than what it did, and I thought it was just average late.
Beauty. Trent, what do you
got? Very keen, number 3, Tango Fever. I've got it 4.5 kilos ahead of anything else, so it's hard where you price that. Usually, I can price it anywhere between $1.20 and $1.80. I've marked it at $1.80, but I think it wins this race. Some of these other horses aren't much good. I think it's got some style in this. Open 2-year-old last start, won by 2.3. Had some issues at the barrier, so it was difficult to load. And got a warning for barrier manners. It's easy near the 1,000, so it's had a few excuses to still put them away quite easily and looked a little bit different to those other horses. So more than happy to back up on it. If it returns, does that again, it wins, and it wins quite easily. So just backing the one horse, number 3, Tango Fever.
I couldn't be as confident as you there, mate. I'm sort of a little bit sort of with Nick there, just about from a price orientation. It's the one horse you go looking for, but what price I was willing to take, I thought it was a bit too short, but
the number one's from Mackay.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, the way you do things, you're going to be super negative on that, even if it does have heaps of style, mate. I understand that.
The other one, Kitchery, won at 20s. The other horse was behind Kitchery at 20s. I can't see anything else. Watchguards coming from Lismore.
Yeah,
like they're walkers. I don't see how.
What about of a roughie here with good connections? What about 7 Omalana?
Caloundra coming out of a maiden. It's a little hard to line up. Obviously,
I've got Angela Jones off the KWT. I've got Golan flying, and I've got Winner last start. You know, I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I'd be more scared of that.
Anything.
I'll be more scared of that than the other ones. But these are you're backing horses off maidens against this horse. You don't have to be a world beater to win this quite easily.
Yeah, no, definitely understand it. Interesting. Race 4,000 meters yet again, and Nick, I'll go to you.
Yeah, bit of a tricky one, this one. I thought there was 3 or 4 chances at least here. Shamrock Lou had to be a chance on its run at the Sunshine Coast. They're going to go quick. I mean, we say 1,000 meters, the natural default is they're going to go quick, but I think they're going to go really quick here. And then the 3 down the bottom. Gemeldi has been up for a while, but keeps presenting well and running well. If it's 1,100, I'd be really keen. The 1,000 might be a little bit of they might get away from her a bit. The number 9 was an interesting one for me, Katrina. It's about the $8-9 mark, I think. I think it did a really good job to win first up. It was sat wide, had to work, and was really brave in the straight. I mean, I was quite impressed by its effort. So I don't think it's out of it all. And the one down the bottom, Gollins Whisky-Ali, I think it is. I might be wrong there. I thought its run at the sunny coast was good too. So I think there's 3 or 4 chances here. And if that's the case, they all parade well. If I'm going to have a bet, it'll be the one I can get the best price on.
Yeah, interesting. We might get a little bit of a line on Katrina by how devastating goes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well. I mean, devastating had every chance to beat it. Katrina worked and was brave, but it's a bit of a step up for it here too.
Yep. Trent, what do you got?
I've got the 6 Hold On Honey on top. I've got it at 4.30 at the moment, so a little bit above what price it is. The value in the race I have is 9 Katrina. I've got it $4.80. It's currently $6.50. It's a little bit hard when they win when first up and they're 8-1, you've got to try to assess where they go from there. But when they've only had 12 starts, they've had 4 wins, they won quite well. They're going forward in a 1,000-meter race. I'm going to be more with you than I'm going to be against you. So more than happy to give it a little bit of improvement on that first up run, which will put it right in this race. So definitely backing the 9, Kachina. The other one I may have something on is number 10, Muscali. So I've got it at $6.40. It's currently $8. I needed to get out a little bit, but I think it could be value in the race. So fourth up now. It was wide throughout last starts. I had excuses. It was held up near the turn on the start before that, and won first up. So I think it's got some ability. Tony Golan also. So more than happy to have something on that horse if it gets out a little.
Well, obviously, the one that I had the closest look at was Hold On Honey, because it's got those Sydney form references. And I remember earlier on in its career when it was with Pride down here that I had an opinion of it and I thought it was going to do stuff. So it's sort of similar to race 1 where I was going to get interested in, well, I am interested in Rainbow Connection. And it's sort of a similar setup with here. Just watching that last trial wasn't as strong through the line as I wanted to see. With that bag of wit sort of looking like it was going better than it. Saying that, Nick, you've mentioned to me that O'Day and Hoisted, they're not scrubbing along, are they in trials?
No. But the question mark with them at the moment is how they go in the last month. It hasn't been flash. I did a bit of a deep dive. I put in the chat the other day about some Brisbane stats the last month, and Tony Golan is just miles ahead of everyone else at the moment.
Yeah.
And there's a heap of jocks as well that just aren't riding winners, and trainers that are struggling. So, yeah, I know what you're saying. They're good.
Anyway, we'll get a good guide from the yard, mate. We'll see.
Yeah,
obviously it's got those negatives. So,
I didn't really like the trial. I didn't like the last 100 metres of the trial, and that's a month ago. I haven't been able to find it if it's had a jump out. I imagine it's had a jump out in between.
See, that's what I was thinking too, mate. It was just like sometimes when the trial they win the trial, so it's all right, but there's just a little bit more you're looking for, and then that's a long time before they come to the races. I don't know. It whiffs a bit to me, like they are ready to go. So
look, I've sent a couple of messages out. I've got a mate obviously that does the jump outs and that, and to find out if it's had a jump out. I'd imagine it would have. But just a little bit of a question mark on that stable at the moment. And I mean they're obviously very good, but Matty Hoisted's been away overseas, so he's pretty integral part of that operation. So I'm a little bit hesitant with that one.
Beauty. Let's move on to race 5 over the 1,200 meters. And Sooty, what do you got?
Race 5. I'm pretty keen here on number 8, Bubba's Bay. So it's 5th up now, 17 days since last run from barrier 3. So it raced wide without cover last start at Warwick Farm. Warwick Farm it's only around 1 bend, so I didn't give it a huge bonus on that. But always off that Sydney form, even if it is midweek, I'm going to think it's going to line up really well up in Brisbane, particularly this time of year. So I think this horse is going to go quite well. It won 2nd up. It went back a little bit, 3rd up, but that last run, I think it's with us. So it doesn't have to improve that much. I've only given it a kilo improvement off that last run. If it does that, I think it's going to be very hard to beat. So only one bet in this race, number 8, Bubba's Bay.
And what have you priced it?
I've got it $4.40. I could have it a touch shorter, but that's probably my max price, and it's around the $5 at the market. You can get a touch more potentially elsewhere, but I'm just really keen on it. I just think it sets up really well in this race.
And Nick?
Yeah, I definitely concede it's a chance. I've got to be with the 10 here off the trial, Allegretta. It was, don't know if you watched the trial, Deegan, the thing in front just went berserk, and so it was a good hit out. And this was it really got to the line well, the last 100. So I'm happy to play it at the odds. And I thought the 5 field Weary's going to get a really nice run here. It's going to be strong late, and it's just going to get a run where it does nothing. KWT off the inside. I can see it sort of midfield on the fence doing absolutely nothing. Probably need a little bit of luck, but I'll give it a chance. So I thought it was between the 5, 8 and the 10, but very interested to see how the 10 parades. It's up over 1,200 first up, but yeah, I thought the trial was excellent.
Yeah, and it's interesting, those Melbourne horses that change trainers and go up to Brisbane, isn't it? They I think I had a look at that, and it was actually looking pretty solid as far as profit on turnover was concerned. I found that a little bit of a tricky race, actually. Let's move on to race 6 over the 1,200 metres, and I found this a rather easy race. I'll go to you first, Nick.
Yeah, I think everyone finds this a pretty easy race. I still can't believe he got beat first up, Zarastro. I mean, what on earth they were doing on the thing that took him on's beyond me. But and he was still brave to just get nutted. He did a great job. I think if he doesn't get taken on that, he probably wins by 3 lengths.
Yeah.
He's a really nice animal. He'll be the best looking horse there tomorrow, no doubt. My default with these shorties is to try and find something to beat them instantly, and I really couldn't find one. Yeah, I got him clearly on top, Gordon, probably the best of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, like with the second favourite, another pace horse in the race being All Event with Chris Lees from 7. I can't see him, the way that stable is, being super aggressive to take Zarastro on.
No.
So the map is looking good. And look, those lines for Orbelant, although it's been winning, they are quite weak stuff. It's not strong stuff. I think what's best available now, $1.95 or $1.90. I think that's value.
Yes,
Trent, what do you got?
Got the 2 Zarastro on top. I've got it 4 kilos ahead of anything else. So what I used to price manually, I used to only price anything within about 3.6 kilos. So I could have it down.
So you've got it at $1. You got it at $1 then, mate.
I put 20%. I do it at 80. I do it at 80%. So I normally do it at $1.20.
Yeah.
But because I've got the bookie hat on now, I do try to get a price and get it into where the market will be, and say, okay, where do I want it to be in? What brackets do I want to be to lay it? This horse will not be laid on Saturday. We will not be laying it. But I've got to put a figure next to it. So I've got to put it $1.90, about where it is at the moment. But as I said, I could price it anywhere, probably between that $1.20 and $1.90. So I don't really want to back it, but I definitely don't want to lay it.
The only question mark is that, we always knew this horse had serious ability, and it let us down. So is that, sometimes those horses, you just back them first up and then you leave them alone because they're a little bit sort of mythical. But that run was just too good for me to.
It's interesting on that. Good. Gollum's got a reasonable track record now. I should go back and try and find them of improving some of these horses that come from good stables down there.
Yes, I know. Yeah, and good early prep too, Nick.
Yeah,
like when he takes them over. Yeah.
Like Baller came up here as an absolute nonny, and he turned it into a group.
Yeah.
So he can do it. Yes, I said this will be the best parading horse there tomorrow, and all reports and from reliable people is that the horse is absolutely flying. So yeah, I'm happy to take $1.90 if I can get it. Absolutely.
And I give that a positive jockey change too, guys. So there you go.
Yep.
I will. Gordo will have one bet in the race, though. Of course, I can't help myself.
A place bet?
No, for the win. Number 4, Festival Prince. So I do like horses coming back in class. So this is a benchmark 72. Number 4, Festival Prince, has been running in the benchmark 78, benchmark 80, open 85, 78. So I do find that their ratings are quite hidden, and they can rate much better when they drop back to the 72. So if something happens to Zarastro, which second up can do, I think this horse could have something. So it's had a 70-day layoff. It had excuses its last 4 or 5. And as I said, if it rates a little bit higher, which they can do coming back from those ratings, it can do something. So I've got around the $13.80 mark. It's currently $51 with tab. So I think it may be some value potentially each way if you bet that way. But I'll definitely be having something on it.
For guys out there, don't even each way. That's too aggressive as well. You want to back thing, you do it 1/8 or something like that. I reckon is the way to go.
Correct. Yeah, I tend to do 1/2, but
well, the thing is with your win assessment of the horse, that would actually match up. The place price would be greater than what you price at the win. And if anybody out there wants to know how I do it, is that if the place price is close to what my win price is, then I always have something to place on it. But everybody does it differently. Race 7, 1,400 meters, and oh my God, no, we've got to go to you, Nick. There's just like Queensland exposed form all over the shop here. How did you line them up?
I found it really hard, Gord, to be honest. I didn't like the race.
I always throw the hard ones to you because
you
know that all the form up. You know what I mean? Like you specialize in that area.
Saying, but I found it difficult. Like the obvious one is Brentwood. It was a reasonably impressive win last time, but he's been up for a while now. He's pretty exposed horse. We know what he is. He's no world beater. The one I might have a home invasion here. The one I might have a little bit of an interest on is the 8 Smitzer at around the $15 mark. I didn't mind its run. I'm just a bit worried where it gets to in the run. I'm hoping it's sort of running line, 2 or maybe 3 pairs back. It's really hard to get these maps in Brisbane at the moment because of some of the decisions being made. But yeah, I think it might be a play for me at odds. I'm not a real fan of the trainer jockey combo, so that sort of diminishes me. But I couldn't really get confident here, Gord. I gave the 4 a chance, foggy, but not a race I'm overly interested in.
Yeah, it had that nice little late sectional there last start, Smitzer. Trent, what have you got?
We've got the 11 Brentwood on top at 360, so there's no value there at the moment. The value in the race I thought was number 13, Hokahay. So it's had a number of issues here. So it's 4th up, 14 days, barrier 1. It last start began awkwardly, eased near the 1,000, held up near the 150. Start before that began awkwardly, over raced, wide throughout. And then first up began awkwardly. So going to the restricted no Metro win race, coming back from the benchmark 78, I think it's definitely ratings wise in with a chance there. And if you take into account some of the issues it had, and you take into account the race it's coming out of is probably superior to this, I think it's going to go really well. So I've got it $7.20.
You got tongue tie again there too, mate. So I didn't read any stewards about noise, but interesting gear change for a horse that promised a bit and sort of been disappointing recently.
Yeah, that's right. So any kind of change in gear like that is obviously a bit of a concern that might have problems, or that could help it. So yeah, it's at the $15 it is with Ladbrokes at the moment. More than happy to spec it, and I think it's going to perform a lot better than that price.
The one that I had the closest look at was Being Foggy, pretty much because I had a really good crack at it at Grafton in that race, and you know what I mean. You got done by Too Good to Be True by 0.05 of a length or something like that, and you put a massive margin on the third horse. And you start betting at $4 and it jumps at $2.40 favourite. I told you, mate. I'll tell you this myth about beating ST. Yeah, I love throwing that out there because everybody talks about it all the time. But it seems like a perfect setup to me, man. You're still third up this preparation, and you've done some nice stuff in both your returns. And I didn't think Brentwood has shown enough to be such a short price favourite. I mean, I'm going to disagree with your 360. I know there's margins there, but I wasn't seeing it off figures. Being Foggy for me, but a low confidence race. And anyway, so if anybody on Saturday wants to bet at combet.com.au.
Correct. Yeah, we've got a couple of auctions on this week. We want to try and get a few more people now that the Spring Carnival's starting with the Missile Stakes. We want to try and get more people out there into those auctions. The more people start playing the auctions, the more auctions we can have. So there's obviously a lot of value to be had in those. Typically, they go below 100%. So if you're looking to get a horse you like, then get into those auctions and you can get something out of that.
Yeah, beautiful. And I know that, there's going to be some mistakes in those auctions too, because found a couple of bets in that race already. And look out, you can get on to win 5,000. That's right, Tootie?
You can get on to win 3 at the moment.
Okay, get on to win 3,000 in the auctions, and you're probably betting into about 95% guys, which for everybody out there knows that that's a pretty lovely situation. Nick, let's move on to race 8 over 1,400 meters. And what have you got here?
I'm keen here. Number 1, Roman Aureus. I don't understand the price. I'm really happy with the price. Thought it was a nice win in Rocky. A horse I think's got a bit of time for, Princess Tenko up there. I think it's a decent horse. I thought it was a good win.
And you don't mind Paladas as well either, do you, Nick?
Paladas is more. Paladas is a herd animal, but it's good enough it'll always put itself. It's got some ability, and it'll always, put in a decent run. So I thought that was a good win. Its last run over Doom, and it's finished 5th. But if you go back and watch the replay, it just had none. It's done a good job to finish where it is. I'm a little interested in you guys. Probably have more info on the bottom one than me, Majorati. I thought it was just plain first up, but it does seem to improve second up.
It might have been plain, but it got beaten by a champion, Nick. Eh?
Oh, who beat it?
Brutality.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry. Oh, right. Well, tack on a couple of links there.
Yeah.
Equivalent to a Group 1, I think.
Yeah. So I'm pretty keen here, Roman Aureus. He's a genuine horse. I think he's a real good chance here. And I gave a chance to the 6 Valenti. It's been scratched out of a number of races to get into this one. Pretty consistent horse. I didn't mind its last 2 runs, but I'll be pretty keen to play here, Roman Aureus, particularly at the price.
Beautiful. And I'm very interested in your pricing in this race, Trent. Anyway, what have you found? And give us a couple of prices.
Yeah, I'll give you the prices because I'm not going to bet in the race. I've got number 5, Better Get Set, favourite 380. I've got second favourite Majorati, number 9 at 420. Third favourite, number 1, Roman Aureus, 560. So it's
you're playing bookie in this race.
Yeah, it's one of those races. The one horse I could bet on is Roman Aureus, but I hadn't really sure. Then I went back and I went over it 3 times. Just those Rocky races, I'm not sure about. And then that race last start. That
was an interesting point that Nick made there, because I didn't have a good gauge on how much ability I thought Princess Tenko had, and it was interesting that you mentioned, Nick, that you think it does have a fair amount of ability. So
I don't mind Princess Tenko. Yeah. I think she's definitely a open Saturday horse in time.
Yeah.
I had no chance the last time it ran at Doom, just got trapped wide, no cover, and had no chance. But I think she's got plenty of ability.
Beauty. Sorry, Trent.
No, that's about it. When you start looking at horses like Simply Fly and thinking, oh, here we go, then you're in trouble. So I pulled up stumps and moved on from that race. But a bookmaker race for me, and just happy to see something I haven't laid win.
If I was playing bookie in this race, I'd be happy to hold some money on Better Get Set. And I would want to keep Majorati and Roman Aureus safe.
Sounds like a plan.
But it'd be a low confidence race, mate. You know what I mean? When Roman Aureus, you look at it and you like its last 2 runs, but when I see 40 starts, red flashing lights go off as far as the way I do things. And Majorati to sit OSL in a Saturday Metropolitan race, that's pretty strong, man. Like normally that's a 1 variable in which I'd sort of auto back you in this kind of race, but I think there's little snippets and I'm not sure whether it's that good of a horse. But I was 9 from 1. Anyway, so we've got Nick's Mounting Yard Mail, and obviously it's going to be important because we've already talked about quite a few things, or quite a few horses that we need a lead on. And what I love, yet again, I'm going to mention again, Nick, is you're set on Saturday. We talk about all these horses on the Thursday, and you're really finding horses, off yard, just like really supreme yard rather than, you know what I mean? Anything else, which is valuable information, which guys out there means that you should do your own form. You can listen to us chat about form or whatever, and then you can get that extra little tick from the yard, and that can really be the whatever percentage extra to turn you from a loser to a winner, turn you from a break even to a winner, and if you're winning, then turn you into an even bigger winner. It's fantastic information, even if you're just using it for a certain, small percentage of your bank. It's valuable.
What I'm going to do, Gord, too, is I've had a good look at what Aaron's been doing, and he's putting in some additional information, like a race to say, I liked its parade, where it's going to map and how that's playing on the day. I'm going to try and include a bit of that as well, rather than just pump out the numbers and the tips and the bets.
Well, man, Nick, seriously, Glenn started doing Canterbury Friday nights. Okay. And I'd talk to him and he'd say, Gordo, why am I even standing here in the ring? You know what I mean? I should just listen to you and back horses that are going to lead or be on fence in certain scenarios, because there's no point doing the yard. It doesn't matter if a horse could have improved 2 lengths. If it's not going to map in the right position, it still can't win.
Got no chance.
Yeah.
Got no chance. So, and I think Aaron's stuff, I've been looking at his stuff, and there's some really good additional info in there as well. So how it's just doing for the subscribers, that I'm going to start including that from the weekend. So we'll throw in as much info as we can to add a bit more to it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, mate. And by the way, you can make that message as long as you want. The only reason the Sydney one goes out short is because I'm character restricted because of certain ways we do things. So you can put in whatever you like there, which is awesome, guys. So even more information for you. And if you want to get it, you can go to our website, racingrant.com.au or racingrant.com. There'll be something popping up during the show for you to subscribe. And if you become a member of Racing Rant, you'll get Nick's stuff at a discount as well. So and you can have a bit of fun in the chat room, and you can even take me on gambling on a Wednesday afternoon if you want to take me on. Let's move on to race 9 over 1,600 meters, and I hated this race. So if I hate the race, I go to Nick first.
Yeah, I don't love it. Good jockey change on the 2 Hype. A little bit more conservative. I mean, on the last run it had, I mean, they just gave it absolutely none from where it drew, and just hunting it forward on the turn there at Doom. He just had no chance. I think the horse is going pretty well. It's a pretty low confidence race. The top is obviously going well. Got a bit of a distance query for me. The kid on top is a bit of a concern for me as well. It's a reasonably low confidence race. I don't know if you guys know much about Redwood Shadow. I watched its run. It's next Pride. It was in the worst part of the track, I thought, but it was just a run. Last couple. Can't get too enthusiastic about it. Probably going to play Hype depending on how the track's playing, and I'll try and find out during the day how they intend riding it as well. I think
Nick, it's really interesting. It'd be interesting to see what you find from the yard with Redwood Shadow, because man, have a look at some of its SPs. Like, it's, look at that SP at Warwick Farm against Mutamami and Centerstone.
Yeah, it's well fancy.
It ran around at like 350 or something like that. But yeah, I think that price, Nick, and that's why it might be information for you guys out there as well. Pride is heavily backed by people that bet in big figures at Warwick Farm, home track. He's at certain times in his career he's been massively profitable, but obviously the market catches on, and then your ROI changes. Trent, have you found something?
I have number 2 Hype. I've got it.
Okay. Before you even go, because I found it on top as well. Okay. I found it on top as well. But my thing was, look at that gear change.
Yeah, that's a concern.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that gear change. Concussion plates on, guys. So
yeah, that's a concern because it could get quite firm. So that I've highlighted that, Gordo. It does worry me for sure.
I mean, have a look at it. It's obviously got a lot of ability, but hoof issues. Concussion plates front, first time. Pads front, off first time. Synthetic hoof filler off. Now, does that indicate that they've got the hoofs better?
Yeah, look, I'm not a fan of concussion plates.
Because, guys, as much as I can do a search with my data, I can't do a search. Concussion plates first time, pads off first time, synthetic off. I can't link those together. So.
That's disappointing. I thought you'd have that.
Yeah, I'd have a data point of 1.
Someone get Paul Daly on the phone, he'll know. Yeah, it is a worry because the track, Eagle Farm, can get a bit firm. I did note that. I didn't like it, but no.
Sorry, Trent. Yeah.
No, you're right, mate. Yeah, I'm just leaving it equal. I'm not. Obviously, are concerned about those issues. But it started 3-1 in a benchmark 90 last start. Comes back to the 78. Raced wide without cover. Was vetted. So if you start 3-1 in that higher grade and you come back in grade and you've performed very well before that, I'm always going to be with you. So it just needs to get back to where it was. That start before, and I think it's right in this race. So I've got it $4. It's currently $8.50. More than happy to take that type of price to find out. I think if it didn't have those concussion plates and the other issues, it probably doesn't start $8.50. But more than happy to hit and hope, and I think it's the best horse in the race, and more than happy to bet and see how we go.
Okay, well, I was playing a little bit of devil's advocate / Mark Lambourne Gray, everybody up there. I think it's a really easy bet. Obviously there's some negatives there, but it's the best horse in the race, man. Like, seriously. Like, so why not? But you know what I mean? In this frame, it's not like we're going to take 2-1, you know? So,
right.
I'm happy about that. The other one too, Nick, you might mention, and you have a look at in the yard, because Glenn has told me that number 9 Phillipsburg, although hasn't done a lot, is been parading really well.
Okay.
But I mean, if you got stats like that and performances like that, you know, how much does parade really mean in that circumstance? But it might be interesting. You know, it's gone up to Brisbane now, bit of sun on the back, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe something will switch it on there. Okay, Nick, what are your best for the day?
Rainbow Connection in the first. I'm very interested in race 5 to see. I've just got to go back to it now. How a few of these parade. That'll be key to me there. I want to see Allegretta parade. If it looks ready enough first up at 1200, I'll be quite keen to play there. Zarastro, which is no secret. I think that's as close to a good thing as I've seen in Brisbane in quite some time. And I'm pretty happy to play Roman Aureus, particularly if I can get around the $6 mark and above even money to place, which I think I will. If I shop around, I'm pretty happy to play there. So they're my best.
Beauty. And Trent, what do you
got? Race 1, Keen Rainbow Connection. Race 3, Keen Tango Fever. Race 5, I thought was a good bet. Number 8, Bubba's Bay. Race 6, number 2, Zarastro wins. And I didn't mind those other two. Race 7, 13, Hocker He. And race 9, number 2, Hype. So high confidence day. Expecting a few winners.
Well, I tell you what, he did say that he'd had a few bets. I asked for your best for the day, and he just gave you tips back for the whole goddamn program.
I'm very keen on them.
Okay, guys. Put a line through 2 races. And
I left the 2200 meter race.
I'll tell you what. You wait till you meet him and have a beer with him. He's cocky. He's a cocky bookmaker. Hey.
Not cocky bookmaker, I'm a cocky punter, not a cocky bookmaker.
Yeah, I know that's true. You're only a newbie on the other side, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, guys. Good luck, good punting. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Trent, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, good. Thanks, Trent.